What's up, YouTube? I just wanted to talk about an experience that I just had with a dumbass American at the Costco gas station. Um, so these Trump humpers, I guess I could call them. They like lying about Joe Biden. They constantly try to put things on Joe Biden that didn't happen. They constantly basically anything that Trump's accused of, Joe Biden is guilty of. And it's fucking annoying. So I went in, I pulled into Costco and to get gas, and next to me in the opposite lane, this woman was asking her old man what the gas prices are, and he replied to her, and she said, "Well, at least it isn't $5 like it was under Biden." First off, we live in Kentucky. Even under Joe Biden, the gas prices was never up to $5 a gallon. The only time the gas prices went up under Biden was when Russia invaded Ukraine, and it took about a month or so, and they went back down. And before Trump got elected again, which I think he stole the election. That's just my opinion, and everything in my gut tells me that. But even before Trump got reelected, gas was $2.64, and ever since he's got elected, it's just continuously been creeping. The gas at Costco, which is the cheapest in our area, is nearly $2.90, which is, around 30 cents more than it was under Biden. Or actually, no. 30 cents. Yeah. So that's the first part. So I go off. I'm like, you are delusional. It was never up to $5. You're absolutely insane. I basically told the woman and her fucking old man that they're smoking crack. And I also pointed out the fact that everything has went up under Donald Trump. Everything has went up tremendously under Donald Trump. Electric bills, insurance, whether it be healthcare or auto, everything's went up. Everything, food, energy. When it comes to your electric bill, everything's went up under Trump. Every freaking thing has went up under Trump. Not one thing is cheaper than it was when Joe Biden was in there. Period. And I am so tired of this country. These people like that, are the reason why Republicans keep on getting reelected. They're so detached from reality. And it's either they're detached from reality, or they're lying to themselves, or it could be a little bit of both. They could be detached from reality and still lying to themselves because they just don't want to quite admit that Trump's bad. He's bad. He's a horrible human being. He's a horrible fucking person. He's just horrible in every description. Every facet of Donald Trump is horrible. He has no redeeming quality. And I honestly don't understand how anybody could find him entertaining. I have not thought he was entertaining since he was on The Apprentice. I've never liked the man. I've never liked him. I don't care if he was I don't care if the dude was a freaking Democrat. I would fucking hate this dude. He's a bad person. He's a bad fucking person. He's just a bad person. He just is. But it's frustrating. America is an idiocracy. And I'm telling you, even though I think that the Republicans are going to burn this economy and burn us so badly, like even over what we're experiencing right now, which is bad. I can't imagine how bad it's going to be next year, even if Trump drops dead. which he probably will. He probably won't even make it to the end of this year, if because he's in very bad health. I know he's not going to make it his whole term, and I definitely don't think he's going to be alive in 6 months. And it might be even less time than that. It might be next month or two. He might be dead. And all I can say is good riddance. Good riddance. The only downside is we got another piece of garbage in J.D. Vance. There's not one Republican. Even Massey, which is going against Trump some, he still voted for the big bullshit bill. He voted to cut, help for his own constituents. How Kentucky's going to have a bunch of hospitals closed, because of him. So, there's no good ones. Even if they're on the right side, like 1 time out of 10, they're still not good. But, I'm just frustrated, dude. I hate this country. But it's not only this country. I hate humanity in general. I'm not a fan of the human race. I think we're disgusting. I think we're parasites. I don't believe we deserve, what we have been given in this earth, because we're totally squandering everything that we have actually been given. And we should be in the golden age of humanity. We should learn that, working together is, more important than, pushing, people away, pushing, others who don't look like you away. It's not like it was when we was hunter-gatherers, when it was survival of the fittest, and you didn't trust people who didn't look like you. You didn't trust, you're very, it's an animalistic instinct. It's the deepest, darkest, most primitive instinct that we have in our brains is to not trust, to, and hate. And that's another thing, hatred. They're very primitive, and they're fundamental in the human race. But we can't overcome it. You can't overcome it. Humanity can't overcome it, but we choose not to. And we choose to fall into these traps. We believe bullshit, which not all of us do. I've never fell for Republican propaganda, and I never will. I never supported George W. Bush. I never supported any Republicans. I don't like saying I'm one thing or another when it comes to ideology, but I am liberal. I've gotten more liberal, as I've gotten older, and I've become more open, and that's the way we should be. When you learn, it should enlighten you, and it should open you up. It should change your heart, and it did me. I was raised around a very racist family, and I don't believe in that stuff. I don't believe in racism. I don't believe in white supremacy. I don't believe that there's one race that doesn't have the same ability as every other race. I think that every race has the ability to be good or bad, intelligent or stupid. I think that when you get into identity, into the identity argument, that's a lose-lose, because there's a lot of instances of very bad people in the white race, and there's a lot of instances of bad people in every race. So, and you got these white supremacists who are bald at 30 years old. They look like, are you really going to be the supposed representative of the white, the white supremacist race? I just don't get it, dude. These dudes would have been kicked out. Would have been kicked out of any kind of contest when it comes to purity and beauty and intelligence, and they're not pretty, and they're not smart. And they're supposed to be the champion of the white race, but that's all I'm going to go into. It's quite aggravating, and I hate people. As a whole, there are individual good people, which I care about, but as a whole, I hate humanity, and I have no faith in humanity. But thank you for watching. Cherish family. Take care. Like and subscribe. Have a nice evening. Goodbye.